essentially, I would call him the Charlie Kirk, I'm not going to lie, of England. And you can take that however you like.
Love me, or do you love me not? Is you my bitch, or just another thought? Is you toxic? Is this shit a shot? I ain't mad, shorty, snake another shot. Fuck.
They sat down and had a really interesting conversation. And I'm just going to play from where I left off, and, I'm going to be taking my hair out, and you guys can comment what you think.
Because their power their power and their future is from the Muslim community, and they know it. But they will use democracy to end democracy.
Does the solution become remigration? Because all this nationalism's great. What does that practically mean at the end of the day? Right?
There has to be remigration.
Who goes home?
The 40,000 Muslims who are on the terror watch list need to leave.
Instantly gone.
Gone. See you later. 33% of Muslims that want Sharia law, they can leave law.
Is that identifiable?
Anyone who's broke the law, criminals. We have 12,000 foreign nationals in our prison system. Afghanis are 22 times more likely to commit sexual offences in the UK than anyone else. Why have we got any Afghanis coming into our country? Because the demographical change to these countries, the change in culture, London has a 30% English population. Is that right? Well, at what point does this stop?
Sure.
To say Nigeria. Well, Nigeria has to always remain a majority black country because that's what it is. Japan has to maintain a majority Japanese population. Otherwise, it's not Japan. No, there's no future survival for Europe without...
You know what I find interesting about that perspective? People point to, post-empires, right? Or Jesus Christ. I mean, there's so many ways to attack this, right? And pre-countries, there were, for the most part, empires, kingdomships, right? Territories. Pre that, predominantly kingdomships. Pre that, just groups of people. Pre that, you can keep going before and before and before. And the truth is, people like to huddle up. They like to be in a group. They want to stick with that group. They will defend that group. That group is their people, and it can be based off race, religion, color, ethnicity, nationality, you name it. That is what the world has always been. And in today's era, there has never been so much intermingling and blending and mixing of cultures. This is the only generation you can get oxtail mac and cheese. What the hell? When would you ever have been able to, you know what I'm saying? Oxtail mac and cheese egg rolls. There's so much mixing of cultures that the idea that people would just stick to their own and that's what makes them is going to be very false very soon. He said that Japan is only Japan if Japanese people by ethnicity or nationality or race live there. That's not going to be true. Japan is just going to have to be Japan, whether it's majority black, majority Asian, or majority white. I think the U.S., that reality is unfolding as we speak. In the UK, that reality is unfolding as we speak. But I would say when it comes to the issue of migration, this is where I always get confused. People hate migration because people from poor countries come for opportunity. However, people love innovation that comes from people who come to this country for opportunity. You don't get the atomic bomb if it's not for Germans migrating here. We were going up against Germany in World War II, and it's Oppenheimer, Albert Einstein, very great scientists who made their way down here, either through their parents or parents' parents, German migration that led to some of the greatest innovation in the U.S. Elon Musk, he's not even an American. Not a true one, at least if you want to talk about by birth. He's born in South Africa. It's migration. Migration is a very beautiful thing. Now, when you get conflicting cultures when it comes to religion or other aspects, guys like this, they get upset, but it's like you just want you're trying to preserve your culture.
Migration. The future of Europe depends on it. Look at France, look at Sweden, look what's happened to Germany. Look. And my job, which I'll play on Saturday, is as there's an anti-migrant sentiment growing, as people are angry, we should be angry at the government because it's them that's facilitated and it's them that's brought this upon us.
If I'm a second-gen Muslim immigrant here in England and I see all these people saying, we're remigrating you back to wherever the hell you came from, you and your family.
Yeah, that's not what we're saying. Because second generation Muslim.
They get to stay? The parents go?
Second generation Muslim immigrant, second generation, would mean some of the people I love growing up with. Yeah? But we have to stop Islam.
But if the two are inextricable, right? If Islam is inextricable from who I am as a person, and I live here, and who I am as a person, that's my culture. If you've got 1.2
million Muslims here,
there's incompatibility with English culture, let's say.
It's oil and water. 1.2 million Muslims who want Sharia law means there's 1.2 million people in Britain who wish to overthrow democracy and replace it with a violent supremacist ideology. Yeah?
How do you peacefully take these people?
My thing is that true, chat? Like, is this something that's just overblown? You know what I'm saying? I always get a bit confused. Because guys, like, are there statistics of how many Muslims in the UK want Sharia law? I don't like that. That just seems like he's just drawing it out of his ass to support his narrative, you know?
But this is the problem. There's no peaceful solution. There's chaos. Because the minute a European government attempt, you're seeing it now with even when you're trying to bring in deportations of criminals in the United States. Imagine when they try to enforce the law in France. Imagine if they elect Le Pen and Le Pen says, you got to go somewhere. Yeah, the criminals have got to go. It's war. They're not going to peacefully. So, but we either have this confrontation now, while we can still win, because in 10 years' time we lose.
So here's the thing: these guys, a lot of people, I'm noticing today, and this isn't just unique to the U.S. or UK. You know, in order to instigate violence, you have to act like the person you're instigating violence with is the one who wants it, right? So I'm noticing there's this big talk of, no, we have to go to war. There's no peaceful solution. That's usually false. It's usually false. There usually actually is a peaceful solution. You just don't want it. Because the moment it's peaceful, there's no use case for someone like you who instigates violence. And it's interesting because he can't even clearly define who he's going to war with. He's saying it's criminals. I'm like, no one likes criminals, right? Criminals don't like criminals. But who are the criminals? But then he says it's Islam. But then he says I don't know.
They don't want Germany having an identity and Spain having an identity. They want a European identity. How do you do that? Break down the culture. You are about to see, I believe, a revolution's coming. It has to come, or else Europe doesn't exist. What's happening in Britain is not unique to Britain. Germany, France, Sweden, Belgium, every country across Europe, we're being replaced, demographically replaced. Our cultures are disappearing. There has already been a revolution. It's gone on for the last 20 years, where they have taken control. They have attacked nation. They have attacked identity, attacked the family, attacked Christianity. We are now the counter-revolution. Now, if you have a majority Muslim community, it's no longer England. The culture's gone. No, we can't give that up.
So you heard it here first. England's only England, I guess, if it's white people, or I guess white Christian people. I disagree. I don't think that's what makes a country, in my opinion. I think he's getting country and empire confused. He's right. If you're talking about an empire, the classic English empire isn't the English empire if it's not white Christian guys. But the country, actually, you can change the whole demographic of a country, right? America was...
I'm sorry, we can't.
Let him go.
We can't. And to be honest, we're not going to. We're one rape, one terrorist attack away from this country possibly exploding.
So I headed to the Unite the Kingdom protest in London to find out how many people agree with Tommy and how they want the future of Great Britain to look like. But real quick, have you ever gotten in a car accident that wasn't your fault in size? And Morgan & Morgan is so unless you code on right. Move. How many people do you think will be here?
I reckon we're going for 2 million.
Rape of Britain, Rip Peter Lynch. Keep our girls safe.
You're taking the piss. We've got to fuck them off out of here.
Get them out! Get them out! We've had enough. We're being invaded. The Islamic invasion every day. 1,000 every day. 5,000 a week invading our country, and we're putting them up in hotels, and we're calling it, they're putting them up in barracks. Why are you here?
Supporting our country, uniting the kingdom.
To support Tommy Robinson and United Kingdom.
To support England. Basically, we've been swamped with immigrants who we don't know who they are.
Emergency accommodation. I've been kicked out of my hotel because I'm not priority. Me and my girlfriend. Yeah. Like the boaters are. I'm being made homeless.
I'm not gonna lie. This is I hate to be that guy, but I just feel so much irony watching this, and I'm like, yo, like I'm Ugandan, right? That's my, I guess my ethnicity, my true race is I'm Ugandan, right? I'm born here in the States, sure, I guess nationality, but I'm Ugandan. There was a time in Uganda where the British came through. They came through, flooded the place, spread the religion, were killing people left and right, and then they said, well, we've had just about as much. Who wants to lead? We'll give it to you as long as you lead it the way that we want to lead it. And they did this to African country after African country. Um, and so it's hard for me to sympathize because I'm like, I think Britain might be getting a taste of, I guess, maybe what happened, of maybe what they may have done, not even may have done, just what they did in the past, you know? But I think for me, what I'm more concerned with just entirely, I should watch Trump's UN speech. Yeah, I should watch Trump's UN speech. See, I want to avoid, let's watch Trump's UN speech. I don't want to be a political commentator. Um, you feel me? Because I think it's so dried out, it's so played out, in my opinion. And guys, everyone has an agenda. People are either left or they're right with it. I really truly pride myself on being moderate, but now I gotta watch this though because I heard it was hilarious. I heard it was hilarious. Let's see.
President Donald Trump took the stage at the United Nations today, addressing the General Assembly, speaking for nearly an hour, making several false statements, taking aim at the UN itself, along with migration.
Here we go.
Thank you very much. Very much appreciate it. And I don't mind making this speech without a teleprompter because the teleprompter is not working. I feel very happy to be up here with you nevertheless. And that way you speak more from the heart. I can only say that whoever's operating this teleprompter is in big trouble. Hello, Madam First Lady. Thank you very much for being here. And Madam President, Mr. Secretary General, First Lady of the United States, distinguished delegates, ambassadors, and world leaders. 6 years have passed since I last stood in this grand hall and addressed a world that was prosperous and at peace in my first term. Since that day, the guns of war have shattered the peace I forged on 2 continents. An era of calm and stability gave way to one of the great crises of our time. And here in the United States, 4 years of weakness, lawlessness, and radicalism under the last administration delivered our nation into a repeated set of disasters. 1 year ago, our country was in deep trouble, but today, just 8 months into my administration, we are the hot.
Okay, I think this is why people take so much issue with politics today. Has there ever been a president that complimented the last president that wasn't of the same party? You know what I mean? Like we were in trouble a year ago. I came in, I ended. Did he even end those wars? What is it? Ukraine? No, Israel, Palestine, Ukraine, Russia. To my knowledge, is still going on. But you can take the credit if you
this country anywhere in the world, and there is no other country even close. America is blessed with the strongest economy, the strongest borders, the strongest military, the strongest friendships, and the strongest spirit of any nation on the face of the earth. This is indeed the golden age of America. We are rapidly reversing the economic calamity we inherited from the previous administration, including ruinous price increases and record-setting inflation.
I've heard that inflation has actually ticked up, and the price increases are very much still there, but
inflation like we've never had before. Under my leadership, energy costs are down, gasoline prices are down, grocery prices are down, mortgage rates are down, and inflation has been defeated. The only thing that's up is the stock market.
yeah, it's literally as if he's lying. As I mean, the weird thing of today is because everything is broadcast on a national forum. There's just no such thing as fact checking. Because I honestly want to give Trump the benefit of the doubt in everything he's saying here, but I read the news. You know, I got to read the market stuff. Inflation I'm pretty sure it picked up. I'm pretty sure home prices haven't changed that much. And most people still feel like life is unaffordable. And honestly, for Trump's benefit, he's only been in for 4 months. So I'm just amazed. I'm just like, to say all this these are some pretty bold statements.
Market, which just hit a record high. In fact, it hit a record high 48 times in the last short period of time. Growth is surging. Manufacturing is booming. The stock market, as I said, is doing better than it's ever done. And all of you in this room benefit by that, almost everybody. And importantly, workers' wages are rising at the fastest pace in more than 60 years. And that's what it's all about, isn't it? In 4 years of President Biden, we had less than $1 trillion of new investment into the United States. In just 8 months since I took office, we have secured commitments and money already paid for $17 trillion. Think of it, 4 years, less than $1 trillion, 8 months, much more than $17 trillion is being invested in the United States. And it's now pouring in from all parts of the world. We've implemented the largest tax cuts in American history and the largest regulation cuts in American history, making this once and again the best country on earth to do business. And
Man, like he spoke for 50 minutes. First of all, I'm already like hung up on that. But yeah, a lot of this just sounds very propagated. It sucks because this is where politics is at, right? It's not just Trump. There's every president would just get up and say, you know, the best things. I wish in leadership, if you ask me the biggest thing I wish there was, I wish there was a sense of accountability. And not even on the sense of the leader's fault, but just, hey, right now, our country is the most divisive it's ever been, right? Right now, people are struggling to make ends meet, and we actually need to put in some work to get to a solution. I think that's something everyone can get behind. I don't think that's a, partisan type of deal. But when leaders just keep big upping themselves and, patting themselves on the back, it's like, well, if you're just going to say that, then it sounds like you're not about to work that hard these next 3 years.
Many of the people in this room are investing in America, and it's turned out to be an awfully good investment during this 8-month period. In my first term, I built the greatest economy in the history of the world. We had the best economy ever, history of the world. And I'm doing the same thing again, but this time.
Is that true? I genuinely want to know, is that true? He built the best economy in the world ever? Oh, okay. I don't know what that is.
It's actually much bigger and even better. The numbers far surpass my record-setting first term. On our southern border, we have successfully repelled a colossal invasion. And for the last 4 months, and that's 4 months in a row, the number of illegal aliens admitted and entering our country has been 0. Hard to believe, because if you look back just a year ago, it was millions and millions of people pouring in from all over the world, from prisons, from mental institutions, drug dealers, all over the world they came. They just poured into our country with the ridiculous open border policy of the Biden administration.
Whoa, man, amazing car. When did you become a millionaire?
What is this for?
We're trying to get advice for the younger generation.
I made my...
Our message is very simple. If you come illegally into the United States, you're going to jail, or you're going back to where you came from, or perhaps even further than that. You know what that means? I want to thank the